Yeah.
Shall we begin?
So it begins.
And now it begins.
So it begins.
And so it begins.
Shall we begin?
So it begins.
So, shall we begin?
So, it begins.
Shall I begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
Yes, we shall begin. The Rooksters watched Crouching Dragon Tiger. Now, I would like to summon my guest, who is also that of a dragon, Puff.
Cool, man. So, we're watching Crouching something, Smoking Dragons.
Smoking dragons. Well, the dragons are pretty smoking. A couple of the ladies are smoking hot. So that's pretty cool.
Wait, I thought we were talking about smoking dragons, man.
Like for dinner, like chicken, smoking them, cooking them up.
No, man, because I'm a dragon.
You know you're a
I
cannibal,
smoke.
man.
No, man. I got an important question for you, Rookie. Hang on.
Okay.
Did you bring any weed?
I've never smoked before.
Oh, I think I'm on the wrong show, man.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I was looking for Snowdub or Jolly said they can pop by, but I mean, you'll do. You're good. You're good third seat. It's all
Jolly.
good.
Yeah. No, he's downstairs, man. Hang on. I'll go get him.
Okay, cool. Go get him from his girl. All right, that's all good. How's the chat doing tonight? What is up, everybody? We got Sherry, the lovely Sherry, coming over in the chat as well. We got Random Brad. What's up, Bradster? Having drinks? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, I do drink sometimes, but not as often. I only get drunk on my birthdays, which is one this month. So you'll be able to see Drunk Rook again. What's up? We got La Dice, Lur Rice, Lur de Dice. There's double, no, R, L R D. I can't pronounce that, but what is up? How are you doing? We've got the Nico Glock bitches, fuck yeah. Dude, I freaking love the intro with that. Anything with Spartacus where they're like, shall we begin? Dude, how can you not get hype watching something like that? Fucking love it. Fucking love it. Do we have the proper guest here? Oh, Jolly.
Clean this up. God, he spilled his bong. There's bong water everywhere. It stinks. Come grab the mop, Puff.
Yeah, I'm sorry to pull you away from your girl and everything. I know you got some ladies over there tonight, but this is more important.
Cool. No, it's cool. Sorry, Rookie. Yeah, no, sorry I'm late. We read the title wrong. No, we thought it said Smoking Dragons. So
no, that's all good. Wasn't that a Disney one?
Or
no, that's where he turns invisible. Or he's like superpowers.
I'm not sure. I think that might have been an acid trip. I'm not sure.
Wasn't there literally like a kid show with smoking dragons?
Puff the Magic Dragon, maybe?
Like literally, wasn't it like magical dragons that has like smoke? No, it's probably called something like that. Never mind.
I'm not sure.
Trying to remember. I was thinking there might actually be ones that were called that, but I don't know if there was. We got Wookie in the house again. Now Puff is gone. He replaced.
I told him, he's gonna clean up all this bong water and then hopefully stay off the channel. Sorry about that. Hail Fandom Collective.
Hail, brother, hail. I thought it'd be great to invite like one of the best movie experts in our community around here to talk some movies, man. I've got the itch again that I need to scratch to try to actually watch some movies again. I've knocked 2 out this month so far. I plan to knock out at least one. Well, no, 3. I've knocked 3. I've watched Team America, No Country for Old Men, and Crouching Tiger. I'm gonna do No Country for Old Men stream later, but I'm doing Crouching Tiger today.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger.
Thank you. I liked it. There's a lot of things about it, man, that I was like, what? But what is it? Was it originally in like a native language version or something? Was there like
Mandarin? Yes,
Mandarin. Was it initially a Mandarin version?
Yes, okay. Of course.
Because I got this movie for Christmas last year, and it's in English, and for some reason it was very jarring to me. And it's been a long time since I've seen a movie with like being dubbed over like that in live action. So I was like a lot of the scenes were like where she's fighting I'm like hearing like a voiceover, but it's supposed to be from her, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like it's coming from her at all.
Ah, yes, yeah. If you can get past that part of it, that's probably the one true flaw to watching this movie, that you don't know, the native language, the original language. But besides that, there's really not much I could complain about when it comes to this movie.
Pretty much. That's not really. That's just more like, the version I got was the English one, and usually people prefer that compared to the one where you got to read. But I'd rather watch the original and see how that does it. The voices that feel like they're coming from the person can help in a scene, because sometimes when people are talking, I'm like, I don't know which one that's supposed to be coming from. A couple of them, they don't fit anyway.
This was actually pretty well dubbed. Actually, you ought to see some of the older movies.
Well, when I was a kid, I remember seeing like Jackie Chan ones, but I don't remember them enough to have that be in my head of what I'm watching.
Still not old enough. Yeah, you got to go way back to see the really cheesy ones.
Yeah, I'm thinking when I was a kid, Godzilla ones. There's like I can just barely remember a kid, and it's like whatever. It's all in English, and nothing of the lips matches any of the voices going on. That's the closest I can get.
Kind of like me. Yeah.
Now you do pretty good. Your voice matches up fairly well.
All right.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's all.
Depends on how drunk I am.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, we got some Cotton Connection peeps in the chat.
Yeah, mostly the connecting. Hell yeah, the Cotton is being connected with the collective tonight.
Yeah.
Wookiee's here. He's gonna go get some more weed and stuff. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Random Brad's in the house.
Good idea.
Representing all the Bradleys. We got the lovely Sherry always around.
Hey, lovely Sherry.
Yep. Is she a fan of Puff? Or
I'm not sure who her favorite puppet is. Maybe she should tell us in the chat.
Do you have an Avengers of puppets that I'm not aware of?
Well, we have.
I'm just kidding. Like a team now. No. I know you have Puff. You've got Jolly. You got the one that I forget, the yellow one.
Mike Roach.
Mike Roach. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen Mike Roach?
No, I've seen your crotch a few times. He tried to say hello.
Thought we were going to talk about that, Ricky.
Well. Yes.
Oh, wow. All right. Get personal right away. I'd say.
Seen him at least twice. I'm not going to deny that.
Hail, Nico.
Hail. Which one? She says, my favorite is Jolly.
Oh, nice.
Blue Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah. Finally, I got a fan.
Yes. One fan. It all takes us to start with one.
Yeah.
So that works.
Can't complain.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike Roach.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a second, I read that. I don't have my glasses on. I thought that was like, might rewatch. That's how I first read that. And I'm like, no, that's a K. No. It's all coming together.
And then there's El Perro de Negro. He's our super villain.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen that one. Or if I have, I don't remember it right now.
He used to be El Perro de Rover, but he got into a fight with the Mexican Iron Man, and then he, tore his eyeball out.
Yeah, the dog. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the dog, the mean dog, the evil dog.
I got you, the little bastard.
Right.
We got Millennial Me. We got Fallon in the house. What's up, Fallon? What's up? You up late? No, it's good.
Hell.
It's like
it is kind of a late show, I guess. Yeah, for the East Coast anyway.
For the East Coasters, yeah, it's not even 9 o'clock for me. I'm
right.
Fine. I'm good. Early bird. But yeah, so I just watched Crouching Tiger for the first time. As you guys know, I am the rookie critic, and I seem to have not watched most movies most people have watched. And for a guy who wants to be a film director, I should watch these because people give all these references to all these movies, and I'm like, crickets. What was that? Who? What? And Crouching Tiger was one of the ones that, like, I must have browsed on TV before when I used to have cable, and I remember seeing people floating on rooftops, and I was just like, that looks weird. I'm just gonna go and just like out of context, just see people floating around on rooftops. I was like, that's weird. I'm just gonna go away. And then I think at one point I walked in on somebody where they're doing the fight scene with the two girls, and they're going through the weapons, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. And just out of context, I didn't catch any interest. But then, I was like, okay, well, everybody recommends it though, so I'm gonna watch it. And I only have these vague memories of this thing, so let me give it a real shot. And yeah, it is an interesting one, I would say. I liked it. There's still things that I'm processing from it, though, because I just finished watching it a little bit ago.
Sure.
To think about it. The ending, especially, it ended on a spot I didn't think it would. So I was like, what? I thought there was going to be a little more. And I was like, okay, that's where it is. Okay. So I'm still, like, thinking about that. But So Snowdub, you're someone who actually saw this in the theater when
Yes.
it was released. When was this released?
I want to say it was 99 or 2000. You can IDMB it or something, but I'm pretty sure it was right around the millennium mark. Because I do remember it was one of the first DVDs I ever purchased as well. Back when PlayStation 2 was real hot, and everybody was kind of buying a PlayStation for a backup DVD player,
Oh
basically.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Back in the day.
Mhm.
So I did go to 1968. No, Nico, it's not that old. Yeah, 99, I think, or 2000. Anyway, so yeah, I went to the theater to see it, and the reason being because it was released in Christmas. I remember right around this time,
Mhm.
and it was already getting the accolades for Best Picture and all that stuff
What?
for the Academy Awards. Right, it was already nominated at that point, I believe. So it had hype even before it hit the theater, and then the trailers came out. And of course, rave reviews across the board, beautiful to look at, blah, blah, blah. So it caught my interest and I went and seen it at the theater.
Sweet. What was your experience there? Was it was it in its foreign language? Was it in its native language too, or was it the English
No,
version?
it was dubbed.
Okay.
I think we had the option of watching both versions, if I remember right. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
at first I was kind of like flabbergasted, when I first watched it because it is a lot to take in especially if you're not um, cultured in martial arts movies, right? And you
Mhm.
haven't seen a lot of them. I could see this movie actually shocking you a bit. Um, but that said, it was very reminiscent to old Jet Li movies, especially his. He's got a set of movies called. Maybe somebody knows in the chat knows what it's called. It's like Fighting the World or the World War Fight or something crazy like that. But he's got an ongoing series of movies about this kung fu master, and it was very reminiscent to those flicks because they use a lot of wire work. But this movie was done very well, and I believe it was Ang Lee is the director of this.
Really, the
Um,
same guy who did the Hulk?
I believe that's him.
Wow. I would
Yeah,
not have connected those two dots.
yeah. You
Wow.
you might want to quote me on that, but I think that's him. And
Okay.
it was very just beautiful to
Yeah.
look at. Very pretty to
Yeah,
look
it
at.
is. Yeah, the shots are good. The camera is what I love is the camera isn't
Right.
herky jerky with the fight scenes, and even the
Sure.
fight scenes feel light. I mean, they're on the wires, but
Well,
in
they're
general,
real.
it doesn't feel like the cut up, close up,
Mhm.
all the stuff. It's like you're able to see it. They do get close sometimes, but
Mhm.
it feels more intentional rather than just, oh, we just gotta hide something or we gotta just show something for random sake. It's like, no,
Mhm.
you're showing them do like a specific hand gesture on the body or something to you know show why they're reacting or something rather than just random stuff. So I appreciate that type of element with fighting, and this type of thing makes me want to dive more into some of those types of
Mhm.
films that I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah.
because mostly because the camera work oddly because it's
Oh.
refreshing to like I can just watch it unfold rather than like strain to figure out okay what the hell's going on
Mm.
with the fight. The fight shouldn't be that complex to
Oh,
follow.
that
You
reminds
know,
me. There's another one that's beautiful to look at called Hero with Jet Li. A couple of Jet Li's later movies he did were just gorgeous
if he did
and fun to look at.
I think the only one I've seen of his is like Bulletproof Monk, maybe.
Oh, bleh. You're
I
missing
think
out.
that's
He's
the
got
only one I've seen of his.
way better movies. Yeah.
As far as like I've probably seen him in more stuff, but just at the moment, it's what is
Check out
coming to mind.
Hero. Hero,
Yeah.
they put a lot of money in that movie. It didn't get the money back that it should have, but that's another one that was just gorgeous. But yeah, Chow Yun Fat. If you highlight Nico's
I'm down here.
comment
Yeah.
there, yeah, I saw it, or I sat next to Chow Yun Fat, first class, London, New York City. Very cool guy. That's
Wow.
awesome. Chow Yun Fat was in his prime for this movie, and so that's why those are all him in the stunts. He is actually classically trained in kung fu, and also Michelle Yao is another badass. So they brought real martial artists in to do these movies. That's why they were able to pull off such amazing fight scenes. Mhm.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it makes me want to think about like the actors that want to be in all these movies. It's like I kind of wish there was more martial artists that would want to be actors so that they can
Yeah,
be in stuff
yeah.
like this. Because I feel like
The Matrix
actors,
changed all that.
most actors don't seem to want to commit more than 6 months to it or
Right.
something, and it's like
Not everybody.
I get it,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Not
oh
everybody
man,
could be Keanu Reeves, right?
to have the authenticity of being able to believably do stunts, even if it's not like perfect, like, oh, it's not a master's level, but it's like you're still like, it's for our eyes, and with the camera you can see them doing something rather than cutting away 4 times to show the crap that they're doing. The actors go doing or something. They can show it, look like a good hit or something.
Yeah,
But
no. It's when you have good martial artists, they can get very close with their punches and kicks and stuff to make it look very real. It's pretty good.
What I think, what I love most about these, and this is what I take away from the majority of Jackie Chan films that I've seen, is that when they're fighting, it's never just simply like a random kind of fight that is boring. Like they usually change the location during
Yeah.
the fight all the time, but it flows nice, and like
Mhm.
whatever's in the room, they'll usually end up using or breaking.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that kind of detail in these fights
Mhm.
because, one, it makes the setting feel real. It makes the like punches seem like it's more powerful. Like
Yes.
when they break a table and they shove them over here, they are
Mhm.
throwing a punch, put a chair up, and break through it or something. Like all these different things that they're doing is like, oh, that gives some type of grounded level to it, to where even if it's a fake chair or they're not even really punching or whatever, you're tricking me. I don't know. You're making it work. However you're filming this
Mhm.
is working for me here. And it seems like, at the end of it, they look exhausted usually by the end of it, and are covered in
Oh yeah.
stuff, and they're dirty and all this. And I'm like, oh, this is like, you just went through all this. This is great. It doesn't look like they tacked it on to you. You look like you're like, okay, we did this 50 times. I'm tired.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Let's go.
Especially the sword battles. One thing I noticed about this movie, and that's why I got so much praise, is because it has a great story. It's all based around this badass sword that everybody kind of wants, and there's two different love stories going on at the same time, and you kind of get to follow the path of both people involved. Well, actually, it's like all four people, but
One's
two.
like of the legends of the past and the
Right.
current modern ones now, sort of.
Yeah, the main protagonist would probably be Chow Yun Fat's character, but Michelle Yeoh is pretty important as well. And then your antagonist is the younger actress Michelle Zhang Yao or something like that. I can't remember exactly. She was
Yeah.
in one of the Rush Hour movies as well. She
Well, she's in
actually
the
had a
third
lot of
one.
talent.
She was the third.
Mhm.
She was in the third one. I remember.
Right.
Okay, that's what she's in. Okay.
Yeah, but she was a talent. Unfortunately, she got into some kind of bad stuff, I think, and ended up not going anywhere. But
I would have liked seeing her in more stuff. Yeah.
well, she's Chinese, so you know how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I think the love story was well told. I thought it wrapped around the sword story very well. I even liked the old mean lady that at first is like her handmaiden, but does the evil turn, later on.
Yeah.
And they end up finding out she's like that, scary witch badass. Just a lot of fun little intersecting plots, all revolving around this fight for this magic sword. And it's just a great story.
I mean, the impression I got was that it's a normal sword, but like forged through specific materials that make it just strong. Like it's just a strong sword, essentially.
Very strong, very
Like it's
flexible.
hard. It can break
Yeah.
through other swords
Yep.
pretty much. So it's a very powerful weapon in that sense. But it's not like magical. It's just a really
Right.
strong, grounded sword. And I love that kind of element to it, because it's not like, oh, I'll use a magic power on you. I'm just going to like mankind can forge this cool weapon here. And I wasn't sure that I was like, is this really kind of centered around the sword? Like I wasn't expecting that. I don't know
Yeah.
what I was expecting, to
Yeah,
be
it is.
honest. I had no idea what the plot was going to be, and I was like, this is about the sword. Really, it's still on the sword. And
Yeah, kind of.
but in a
At its
good way.
roots, it's a love story. It really is
Yeah,
a love story at its
but like
roots.
it's a tool that's used to perpetuate both
Mhm.
ends of the love story, essentially.
It interconnects all the characters, is what it does, and
Exactly.
it does it well. Does it very well.
Yeah, and I mean that's what a lot of modern movies need to learn is like you can have a MacGuffin or a tool or something, but you use that to thrust the other characters forward.
Right.
Don't make just getting it the most important thing. Make the other stuff around it more important, and then you'll be doing pretty well. Because yeah, that's what I like. Even the first chase with the sword that she has trying to with the girl trying to steal it and everything. This is why I like that kind of a chase scene as well. It was like they're kind of floating around the buildings, kind of like Assassin's Creed style, but more floaty ish.
Yeah.
But they ingrained big time heavily that they're martial arts heavy people in this world right here, so they can. I figure it's always like chi or something like I assume where they can just like become light as feather.
Oh yeah,
and do that, which is
kung fu
fine.
art. Yeah,
Yeah,
kung fu
and
art
so it's
and
okay.
stuff.
It's like it takes a skilled person to do that, so
Mhm.
that's cool. And then they're able to do that and run away. And she keeps on trying to yank her down. Get down, get down! Stop trying to fucking fly! Oh, tight string do you? God dang it! Like just
It's a fun movie, and
feels
it's
good.
got replay value, which I love. You can watch it over and over again and not catch something new in one of the fights. So it's
Yeah,
a lot of fun to watch. Yeah.
yeah, it's, liking that big time. And for a while, I thought it was going to center more around like the political aspect of the play that they're trying to
Yeah,
have in it, but I'm glad they didn't
not too
because
much.
they
No.
focused on this other stuff. And yeah, it feels like from the beginning, this feels like a lived-in world, and we're learning little bits and bobs as we go, and through the like perspective of the younger people and the compared to the older ones and everything. And it's like I like how they're doing that because this feels like if there was a show or a movie before, like this is a sequel to that, but it
Right.
doesn't exist, and it feels like it's like a continuation of some kind. Like they're trying to just end their career, but some stuff
Yeah.
how it makes them go back into action for a bit. And there's another young one with talent, and okay, well, maybe I could teach you some of my skills that are I don't think anybody can learn. Okay, and then but isn't even able to do that because he dies. It's just
Right.
very
Kind of a
subtle
sad ending. Yeah.
type of ending. That's the type of subverting expectations that works before it became a tainted type of phrase. I
Right.
think because like I didn't think he was going to get killed that way, but it's just a small little needle that caught him off guard. He blocked like dozens and dozens of poison darts, and then one got him while he was there, and it's just like, oh
Right.
dang, all right, slow death now.
Right.
That's
No,
that's
yeah,
good.
that's kind of the old samurai tale, the hero dying at the end type of feel. Lots of fun to watch this flick if you've never seen it.
Yeah.
I also recommend, going back and watching other classics like Enter the Dragon, Return of the Dragon. Go get some Bruce Lee and yeah, but go check out other Chow Yun Fat titles as well. There's Boiling. I want to say it's Boiling Point, something boiling.
Noodles.
God, I smoke too much. I need to pull up the IDMB here. But yeah, no, there was one movie that he's really good in. Having a hard time remembering what it was. It was before this movie.
Okay, yeah, I plan on. Yeah, of course, I have so many movies to tackle, but the fighting ones, I am more interested in those now, especially if I see some of the other ones, and if they're, action scenes are annoying, then it'll kind of make me want to see ones like this again, to be honest. And I don't know, like, was this the type of movie that everybody enjoyed, or did a lot of people go, it looks like they're on wires, or what was the conversation about it when
Hard boiled.
hard boiled?
Okay, so like I said, this movie had hype before it even hit theater. It was already getting pushed at the Academy Awards. It was up for Best Picture, which I think was one of the first times a martial arts film had ever been in the Best Picture category. So just from that alone, piqued a lot of people's interest. And then, of course, once people saw it, word of mouth traveled and got around. So that's pretty much how the legend of this movie was built. Was back when the Academy Awards actually still meant something, folks.
Right. When they would try to actually determine quality in a film.
Right.
Here and there.
It didn't win Best Picture that year. Who won that year? I want to say they were up against Castaway, a couple other.
Yeah, some decent contenders, probably.
Tom Hanks, yeah, was probably in there.
Probably more familiar actors at the time, maybe.
Can't remember which movie won that year. Something stupid, I'm sure.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But
they never get it right.
Yeah, that's all good. But Yeah, the movie, um, yeah, I mean, there's not as like there's some characters that are being introduced that I was like, wait, is that character or not that character? There was a few moments I admit where I couldn't tell a few characters apart. I was like, is that guard? Was he in that spot? In that spot? What? Like,
Oh
there's a
wow.
just a few for a moment. I was like, wait, what? No, okay, no, he's a different character. Okay, cool. And then there was like the dude sharpening his knives and the chick. I kind of forgot what their thing was. The policeman and his daughter wanted to catch Jade. I forget why they killed their mom or something.
Let's see. Oh yes. Well, she was a evil assassin that had killed a lot of people, and so yeah, they were looking for vengeance basically, and which was funny because every time they got involved with her, they get their asses kicked basically.
Yeah, it seemed
Him,
like it. They just
it was him,
constantly would.
him
Yeah,
and his daughter. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, and like I said, there was different storylines, but they were all still kind of wrapped around the whole sword thing. Very well
yeah.
put together. Yeah.
Very well, very well. And I mean, it's that kind of thing where I'm really surprised that that's not like brought up as like a cool weapon in a movie. Like when people talk about movies or weapons or something, lightsabers, Excalibur, stuff like that. Nobody's mentioned that sword. Like
This actually kind of was the Excalibur of the movie, if that makes sense. Um,
yeah,
the reason I kept calling it Magic Sword is because they put it on a pedestal. It really is make believe to have a sword that powerful to chop through all these other swords like it does.
yeah.
That really didn't happen. But it's fun to pretend, Um, and when I met him, Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he was in that too. Yeah, he's one of the pirate. One of the
Is he?
yeah. When they go to in the beginning, they go to some Asian place. I don't remember what exactly, and they
I
are looking. They're trying to get a map or something. They're trying to get something from the guys into ship,
maybe.
and then they do, and they become part of the crew, and they go down to get Jack Sparrow, and then later they betray them to the East India Trading Company.
All those movies kind of blend together for me.
Yeah, they do. I liked the trilogy though, for the most part. Even if there's some crap in there, there's still some
It was
good bits.
yeah at
Still some
World's
good
End.
bits.
No,
Yeah.
let's see. He was a Bulletproof Monk. The Killer is another good martial arts one. Hard Boiled was a good one. But the one that he's really famous for, I think he had an Academy Award nomination for this one as well. Best Actor, I think, was Anna and the King with Jodie Foster, which was a drama, not even an actual martial arts movie. But he did a really good job in that movie. If you're into that kind of stuff, you probably wouldn't like it, Rookie. It's very cultured, Was that?
Yeah,
Is
seeing
that
my
Bob?
cats. Yeah, seeing my cats in the garage, just so I know.
Oh, did she bring cookies and milk?
No, I got my soda already, like a big boy.
Oh.
Okay, big boy. If you can tell, I've got it. I gotcha. You can tell I got a green screen behind me that I haven't set up yet. It's literally just attached to my chair.
Yeah, no, I've seen those. I've seen those on sale at the store.
Yeah, it's like, so my whole setup when I stream or do a video, I have to literally pull out a fold out table because I don't have a desk in my room for it. So I pull out fold out table and then put all my computer, my mic, my camera up, and my chair and everything, bring that in here. And I'm like, if my background is never going to be like a presentable background in my room until I get like a house of my own or something. And so I'm like, I'll just get a green screen. I can pull up and hide a mess in my room and have that going. But I don't have like a light set up that shows well. I could have it. I could try to put it on now, but it'd be all janky quality unless I have good light on it. So
all in good time, my friend. You'll acquire such things.
Well,
I mean,
I have them. I just didn't want to set that up as well tonight. I'm like,
I'm a 40-year-old puppet that's been collecting for a real long time. You don't acquire a background like this overnight.
That's a good point. That's true.
Right.
I'll get there.
So you're still young. You still have time to collect.
I'll get there, boy. As long as they keep on selling
like
physical copies.
Kind of like that Muppet in Labyrinth, where they keep stacking shit on their back and stuff. They're like, "Here, put some more shit on your back." I'm turning into that Muppet, if you know the reference.
I think so. Got to be something from one of the
Labyrinth.
Muppet movies.
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth?
Yes.
Oh no, I have no fucking idea. I haven't seen that.
Oh, there's another one
No.
for your list.
No.
Put that one on his list, folks.
Mhm.
Labyrinth. Yep.
I feel like I won't like that one, but we'll see.
Oh,
We'll
David
see.
Bowie,
I don't know.
Jennifer
All the
Connelly.
commercials I've seen for it or the clips, I'm like,
classic.
this looks
Classic movie.
terrifying. Okay.
No, it's great. It's great.
We'll
It's Jim
see.
Henson at his peak. Good stuff. Great
We'll
storytelling.
see. I don't know when I
Whatever.
see
You don't
those
know what you're missing.
when I see those examples of puppets, I'm like, I kind of want CGI.
Everybody in the chat, tell Rookie he's missing out because Labyrinth is the shit. I think that was the one movie that I may have seen more than The Thing. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
You didn't hear a word I said. You did that went right through your ears.
You said that you've seen that more than the other one before. I don't know what you're comparing that to.
The Thing. The other
The
movie
Thing.
that I turned you on to. Remember?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
See,
Okay.
I have great advice, Rookie. I made you watch The Thing. Now I'm
That's
making
true.
you watch Labyrinth.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll take your word on
Keep
that.
an open mind.
Okay.
Don't be a
closing
puppet
it out.
phobe. Don't
Not
be a
closing
puppet
it
phobe.
out.
Don't be a puppet phobe.
All right. Tonight I won't be a puppet phobe. I'll try.
All right.
What's up, Loki in here? It says skull and tuck and roll. Hail other connection and Fandom collective. What's up, Loki, brother? Good seeing you around here. Yes, catching up on seeing movies for the first time. I have seen Princess Bride, Fallon, many times. Fucking love that film.
Labyrinth's better than Princess Bride. Yes.
I'll be the judge of that when that happens. We'll see. We'll see about that, mister.
Yeah.
Right there. We shall see. But back to Crouching Tickety Tiger over here.
Right.
Yeah, so at first I was getting a little confused with where they were trying to go when they went to the flashback for a little while with the girl and the guy and their history with that. He's like, oh, I followed you around. And I was like, who the hell is this? What? Okay. And then they get raided in the desert. And then he just like kind of does a little chase game. And I was like, okay, that's actually done okay right here. It's all right. I wasn't sure if he led that whole group of invaders or if he's just around. Because then he just kind of doesn't go back to them.
Yeah,
I was like,
that whole side story was a little kind of offsetting.
I just feel like
it
could have been structured a little better.
Yeah, I would say that was probably the
kind of lost
weakest
on what
part
was
of the
going
movie. That was the weakest part of the movie, I think. Yeah, it was made in 2000. I'm now looking at the IDM page. PG-13. It was categorized as a romance martial arts film.
Yeah, that's accurate. It's all about the lovers essentially, anyway, and the sword. So.
Box office, it made $213 million. Not bad on a $17 million budget.
Wow, that's pretty good then. Wow,
not too shabby.
Damn,
I would call that a success. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
19th century Qing Dynasty China. Li Mubai is a renowned Wu-Dang swordsman, and his friend Yu Xin Len, a machete female warrior, heads on a private security company. Xu Len and Mu Bai have long had feelings for each other, but because Xu Len had been engaged to Mu Bai's close friend Meng Zizao before his death, Xu Len and Mu Bai feel bound to buy loyalty to Meng Zizao and have not revealed their feelings for each other. Mu Bai, choosing to retire, asked Xu Len to give his fabled 400-year-old sword Green Destiny to the benefactor Sirte in Beijing. Long ago, blah, blah, blah. So, and then basically it gets stolen by Sirte's, or not Sirte, what's the girl's name? Xing Yang.
Yeah, to be honest, some of the names kind of blurred together to me, and I don't know. I was like, she's the thief. That's what I was calling her.
Yeah, the little thief girl, thinking she's a badass, takes the sword, which she is. She is a badass, but she's not as badass as Li Mubai, who really shows her what's up the couple times they interact.
Yeah,
which is very cool. He puts her in her place, but before he gets to her, she definitely shows her prowess and shows what that sword can do, which is really cool to watch. Some of the aerial, what would you call that?
The acrobatics or the
acrobatics, yeah, that she pulls off with that thing is quite impressive. Very awesome wire work. Yeah.
Well, like when she goes to that tavern and is just trying to chill there for a bit, and the guys are all walking up to her, he's like, hey, I hear you are strong or something. Some of that was
Right.
kind of weird, but it's just kind of funny how it's like, man, you're just asking to get the shit beat out of you.
I think it was like the culture, back then.
Yeah.
People would see a certain sword and question where you got it, type of thing. If it looked like it was well made or something.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody that looked like she was, literally 16.
Yeah, it's like,
so-
where'd you get that from? And
Right.
the guys seem to be like, oh, you are a master of some kind. Okay, well, I'd like to learn. She's like, not giving them any attention. Well, I'll teach you a lesson. Wah! And then it's just like, just trying to drink her food and just basically flicks them off to the side. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And I assumed all the guys would take the hint and be like, okay, that's she's more than what she appears to be, obviously. But no, none of them do. They're just like all being insulted by their names that they're calling themselves. They're like, I am whatever long turtle, long crane. She's like, that name is so. In the English version, I gotta say, I don't know. It probably sounds cooler in the Mandarin in the original version with the way that they say it in natural tongue, because the English it's like, your tongue is so, your name is so dumb that it is like, I'm just like, oh my god, this doesn't sound like
well,
response.
yeah,
it just makes me want to it makes me really want to hit you or something.
Right.
I'm like, what?
The language barrier, yeah, it does take away sometimes when you're like, what the hell is he saying?
Yeah.
The good thing about this movie is the more you've watched it, because I've watched it several times now, you get more of the story out of the actions than you do the words with this movie.
I agree.
Which is great.
I agree.
Yeah.
Already, even just watching it the once, I'm like, yeah, that's like what they're showing me is telling me a lot, essentially. And like when she's doing the fight scene here, I liked it because not because she kicks everyone's ass or something, but it's like I like the variety of showing how like these are average fighters essentially, and what she's learned and what you learned, like how long she's been training and stuff. It's like, okay, this makes some kind of sense here. You guys have been trained in whatever different styles, but this type of martial arts is just way above what everybody else can do essentially. So it was interesting to see, and it pretty much breaks the whole tavern during the fight with it. Everybody's got different weapons. I like the variety of weapons that they show in this. A lot of them looked like useless weapons. Like, why would you use this? But still, it was interesting to see the variety. It wasn't all just generic sword or something. They had the two huge mallet things on them. Those seem like those would not be very practical to carry around and to use unless it's like you're just bashing down doors or something. I don't know, but a big dude using it, one hit could probably knock your head off or something. So who knows? And then there's that other monk with the weird like scythe with a knife on the end, sort of spear thing, and it's all these different weapons being used in there, and so she's got to react to each one of them and how
that was kind of proving how badass the sword was, because she had to go through the whole damn rack just to try and get the upper hand on that one sword.
Even before the fight with them, I'm talking about when they're in the tavern with the guys, and she's fighting all the different warriors with different styles of fighting, essentially,
and screwing up all their weapons.
And like how she's fighting reminds me. I'm forgetting who this reminds me of. Like I'm thinking maybe Kung Fu Panda or something else. Like
maybe.
I know. Sorry,
Kung Fu Panda came after this movie, so
I know. But I'm just saying what I've seen first beforehand. Like there's
a lot of movies.
The way she's like fighting is like block, like walking, like their fingers on the arm, flick in the face or something. These like funny little things. Tap on the shoulder. Yeah. Like I could kill you, but tap you on the shoulder, knock you on the head or something. Like just funny little.
It's kung fu. Yeah. That's like once again, it's the culture, and the type of martial arts.
Well, I'm saying I liked it because I liked it because it looks a little silly, but it looks like it fits enough for what it is. It's like it's like a superpower essentially. If you
the more you get into these type of movies, Rookie, like the Jet Li Hero and I think Flying Daggers or something. Wookie recommended one earlier that it's also House of Flying Daggers. You're going to notice they're quite similar in their fighting styles. So this will seem more normal to you. The way they fight like that with the finger touching type stuff and the little pressure point things, it's very, very common. And
that's also, I guess I also saw that in like Xena as well.
Well, they've ripped it off, It all goes back to that Chinese kung fu flicks for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at it was the 73rd Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
It was up for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different awards.
Wow.
Okay. It won 4 of them. It was for
Yeah.
best. Yeah, they were up for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Foreign Language Film, Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, and Best Original Song. It did win for Best Score, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, and Best Foreign Language Film. Unfortunately, that year was the year that it went up against Ridley Scott's powerhouse Gladiator with Russell Crowe. So, yeah, that movie pretty much owned the Academy Awards that year.
I gotcha. Well, hey, if that's what it's competing with and stuff, that's doing pretty good.
Did you see Gladiator?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've seen it.
That's why why it lost, is because, that movie was so badass.
To be fair, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I remember quite a bit of it, though. It stuck with me quite a bit. I remember when they're in their first match on the main arena and all that. The people seemed extremely surprised that they even lived at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you guys were supposed to die in this round. What are you doing?
Right.
Like I love the shock of that. They're like, no, you weren't supposed to, there's no rounds for you. Y'all are supposed to be dead. And it's like,
Steve Martin hosted that Academy Awards. See, this was back when the Academy Awards were still good. Anyway, Traffic was another movie that was, I think, was it kind of a surprise hit that year. Anyway.
Yeah.
Aaron Brockovich as well, I think, was that year. So, yeah, it had some powerhouses. It was
Nico says, and Best Anal.
And Best Anal, yes. Mm-hmm.
Definitely won that award.
Is that Rumble in the Bronx? What are you talking about there, Wookie?
It just made Jolly giggle. My life is complete.
Best Anal. That was good.
Yeah. It's a good one. I'm not sure which one he's referring to. But
not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Check it out if you've never seen it. Classic Kung Fu flick. And have you seen this one yet, Rookie?
No. All the ones that have him and his whatcha, like, no, I haven't seen any of those.
You have not seen Enter the Dragon yet?
No.
Oh my god!
I have not yet. Not quite.
Oh.
No, I know. I there should just be a show where people go, "Have you seen this, Rook?" No, and it's like everybody going, "No."
Okay, well, I won't say every, but a shit ton of fighting movies from 1974 till today have been ripped off or copied or inspired by that movie. So I would put this as priority for your next martial arts flick, and then get into the Jet Li Hero and other movies with Jet Li. But you got to go back to the original first. This one, and of course, I would also recommend Return of the Dragon, which is where he fights Chuck Norris, which has probably the most realistic fighting scene ever put on film. That's right. They actually sparred and hit each other and kept it on film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
So, worth checking out.
I've heard that I don't know if it was him or somebody else, that on set American actors didn't like working with them because he'd actually hit them sometimes. They didn't want to.
Oh, it's happened. Yeah, I remember.
It's like, man, you're hitting me, and then he's like, y'all need to get some real shit here. What are y'all doing?
But Van Damme's famous for that. I think he got a lawsuit on Bloodsport, and he got one on Cyborg. For kicking people and hitting them on accident or whatever and fucking them up.
Yeah, on accident.
Yeah, Van Damme was a little sloppy, I guess. But yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking of Steven Seagal when you said Van Damme.
No,
I don't know why.
That's
wait a second.
Gender check. Gender check.
Wait a second.
Gender check.
Yeah, wait a second. That's a different guy. I know Van Damme. I just, for some reason, I was like, oh yeah, the guy that put Oh no, not that guy. That's a different. Guy.
Bloodsport, another movie that was ripping off Enter the Dragon.
Bloodsport.
Mortal Kombat, the game, is an Enter the Dragon ripoff. I mean,
Mhm.
there's so many ripoffs of Enter the Dragon, so you got to see it.
You think any of the ripoffs do a decent job at ripping it off? Or
You might want to watch it right away because people are literally unsubbing from you because you haven't seen that movie.
well, I mean, I think naturally they'd almost unsub because of the amount of ones I haven't watched in general. So until I
Right.
do, they'll sub or something.
Yeah,
So
Random Brad, I
I'm-
think, has unsubbed from you like 10 times now.
I've got 3 down this month, you guys. I watched 3 movies this month. All right,
He's
And I'm doing
trying, folks.
another
He's
stream
trying.
soon, and I've got Hacksaw Ridge DVD lined
Nice.
up sometime this weekend. Probably, I'll probably watch it on
That'll be
Sunday
fun.
and try to
Yeah.
do a stream this month. I planned to do 3 movies a month, but I'm actually trying to push myself if I have time. And right now I'm pushing it on 4 this month. Might even do 5 or 6 if I can. I got a lot of stuff. I got a
Enter
lot
the
more
Dragon
stuff
in
to
there.
do, but
Like that.
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon just went way up your list, buddy. Just saying.
okay.
Wow. This guy.
I'll kick the John Wick trilogy out for this for now.
Yes.
For
This
now.
is more important.
Okay.
This is your movie.
Okay.
the
Or
man-
no, I'll keep
the
John
myth.
Wick. I'll move the Rocky ones. I know Rocky's probably good, but I don't
The
feel like
legend.
watching a sports one right now. So I'm kind of in a mood for some of these action ones. It's been a while. I keep away from some of the action ones because after a while, some of them that I've seen anyway have been like, yeah, okay, here and there. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. So I've given them a break for a while. And so seeing coming back in with some of these good ones are
Right.
getting me into the mood to want to see some more of these good ones here. So getting
Well,
into that.
I don't think I've let you down yet as far as recommendations.
No, yeah, my favorite one you recommended was The Thing for sure, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
really adamant that I was pretty positive I wasn't gonna like it, but no,
Right.
I loved it.
It's a great one. Actually, I just did an unboxing of a toy here. I don't have the toy right now; it's over there. But just opened up this toy here, the Thing McCready Ultimate Action Figure.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty
So,
tight.
I'm gonna set him up back here underneath my McCready picture right here. My autographed Kurt Russell picture.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Even better.
Very manly. Very manly.
Yeah, everybody's
That-
just like, say it ain't so. No. Yeah.
God, don't worry about Nico. He unsubs and resubs to me
Yeah.
daily.
No, that's all good. No, I understand, especially compared to Snowdub with his awesome collection back here with all that. I'm making progress. You see, I
It's,
can't. Some movies I can't get on DVD if I want to see immediately. Some are different pricing and all, and I can't just blow all of my money into DVDs at the moment. But
yeah.
the ones that I like. So what I'm doing now is like I'm pretty much renting them, or if they're free to watch or something, I'll watch it there on a
Nice.
streaming thing. But otherwise, I'll rent it for like $3 and see if
Right.
I like it. And if I liked it a lot, then I'll buy it on DVD later. Essentially, it's what
Yeah.
I'm doing now. Instead of buying movies that I might not even like, just waiting so I can have the ones that I want to see. Because there was a time where I just bought a bunch of random movies from like FYE and other places that had DVDs, good at Walmart and stuff. And I'm like, how much of these am I actually going to watch? Like,
Right.
why did I buy that one? Why did I buy that one? Why did I buy that one? So,
Well, there's
Right.
only one man so far that we know of where they had to actually slow the camera down and less frames per minute in order to capture him in normal motion for film, and that is the man, the myth, the legend, Bruce Lee. So keep that in mind when you go to watch this Enter the Dragon movie, and understand that you're watching one of the greatest martial arts that has ever walked this earth on film. And enjoy, my friend. Enjoy sheer perfection and ass kicking.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Titillate me, why don't you?
I guess squeeze your nipple a little,
I'll watch Enter the Dragon on my birthday weekend at the end of the month.
Ah,
How
yeah.
about that?
Oh, that's right.
There we
We're
go.
the same sign. Yeah, we're like same birthday week. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We had a couple of us in that same week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of us are in that. F. John Wick, Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, says Random Brad.
See?
Yep.
Yeah, there's nobody that's gonna argue with me on that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You guys are convincing me. I'll do it. I'll do that. I'll take that. Take that.
And once again, we are shocked by your lack of movie prowess.
I'm surprised how
That's
often
why
you
we're
guys
here.
can be. I'm surprised how often people can be shocked at this point. But I guess
Well,
there's
I'm just
always
shocked
something.
that this movie was recommended higher than Enter the Dragon. You should have
Well,
started
it's
there.
not that it
Built
was
your way
recommend.
up.
My sister gave it to me for Christmas. I gave her a list.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was a list of movies that people
Gotcha.
did recommend for sure, and
Right.
I just told her to pick ones that she can afford or find or something,
Mhm.
and everything. So that was one of them. And
Yeah. Well, keep in
there's
mind
that.
it was made in 1973, so it is dated. You know, you're not going to see cell phones and shit, but
That's fine.
as long as you can
That's fine with
understand
me.
the period piece of it, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they are wearing 70s retro flashy clothes, and there is a few shag carpets, I believe. But all in all, it's still a great flick to watch. The legendary what's his name, Kelly, Jim Kelly, I believe is his name, a black man martial
Ooh,
artist was a co-star. So there
okay.
was diversity back then. Also, Mr. Saxon, the late great Saxon from Nightmare on Elm Street. You watched that movie, right?
I've seen one or two of them.
It was the original one. I'm pretty sure K-Log made you watch that one.
Yeah,
The original Freddy.
I think so.
He played the sheriff, the dad, the sheriff
Yeah.
dad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that Enter the Dragon as well. So yeah, just some great actors and just a great movie. Yeah, and Bolo Young is in it as well, who plays the last bad guy baddie in Bloodsport that Van Damme had to fight. So you'll see some familiar faces,
Okay.
just a lot
Rinrat says,
younger.
Rinrat says, do you want to know more? I assume that's a Starship Troopers reference. I seen a movie. There you go.
Oh, nice
And
one. That's a good one.
do you want to know more? Those ones were a weird one. I kind of want to talk about those one of these
Oh,
days because they were very weird how I discovered them. The third one I thought was really weird.
one
Uh,
more Easter egg for you with Enter the Dragon.
okay.
Jackie Chan was also in this movie as at this point he was still a stuntman. But if you slow it down, there is a scene where he comes in and Bruce Lee kicks his ass and breaks his neck.
This
Yeah,
pre his fame, pre spotlight Jackie
yeah.
Chan.
He's got like like maybe 5-6 seconds there where he comes in. He's one of the many that Bruce Lee goes through.
Okay.
But after you watch the movie, if you want to figure out who he is, just Google it. It'll show you the clip of where he
Yeah.
comes in at. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, just a lot of great little cameos in this movie. And it was an American production, even though it was filmed in Hong Kong.
Mhm.
Still, it was American production, and it was Bruce Lee's first big flick, where he was the action star of this film, and it was going to be released in American theaters. So, unfortunately, he passed away before this movie was released. But I do believe, to this day, if Bruce Lee would have lived, he would have had probably the most extensive, amazing martial arts career of anybody.
Well, I'd say let's save the rest of the talk about Bruce Lee for when I actually watch the movie. Now, I
Oh,
guess
well, martial arts.
we'll do Bruce Lee because I've heard a lot of things about him. Like if he died by aspirin or something, or that he he died in an unconventional way that you look kind of like Steve Irwin and a stingray. It was like what?
Yeah, they
That's
said
that's how you went. That sucks.
that's a whole other bag of worms. So we can get into that sometime.
Yeah,
Conspiracy theories go
sounds good.
wild when you start talking about that stuff. Yeah.
Right. That's good. But so I don't have too much more to say on Crouching Tiger. We can comment on like when they did do the fighting scene with the thief and the main woman here. Like yeah, I could tell the reason why I liked it was because the older woman's clearly more skilled and talented. Like she
Right.
has a huge one up on this girl, but the sword is so good that it pretty much it cancels out that
Equals her
upgrade,
out.
so it's on
Yeah.
it's on an even playing field in a way, and it's a little so part of it frustrates me, but part of it doesn't. Like I love it and I don't like it because oftentimes it's like the sword doesn't make the warrior. Essentially, in a lot of these films, it's usually like the person wielding it is what makes it powerful. You can give a sword master a stick, and he might beat you even though you're wielding a sword, possibly like something like that. But I don't know. Did
Yeah.
you get that kind of feeling? Or
Well,
anything?
no, like I said, I've was way more cultured in martial arts movies before I seen this. So I had a better understanding of kind of the just the way they portray their storyline when they intermix it with the fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very, like I said, very cultured to more Chinese type of martial arts flicks. But that said, the thing with the sword is that's why the sword was kind of its own character, right?
Mhm.
So even though she was skilled as a fighter,
Yeah.
um, she was nowhere near these masters, right, in skill level until she had the sword. So it kind of showed the swords. This whole movie is really showing how powerful and awesome this sword really is, and it gets displayed in multiple ways throughout the
Yeah.
film. Mhm.
Very much. Well, and I guess so. No, so never mind. It does kind of balance out. Like the woman wasn't able to counter the sword with that, but I'm getting the names mixed up again. Our I wanted to say Stao Fang. It's not his name.
Oh, Chow Yun
Name
Fat,
Chow Young Fat. Yeah.
Li Mu Bai.
Li Mu
Bai.
Bai. Yes. All these names. There's like 3 words attached to each of these names. I'm like, well, which one was this? Well, like when he comes in, he demonstrates what I'm talking about, where it's like, you can wield the strongest sword, but I'm the strongest master. So I don't
Right.
care that you're fighting me with the best sword ever. I can still just
Well,
deflect
and
his abilities.
he knows that sword as well because it's his sword. So, even
Yeah.
though she's fighting with his sword, he knows his sword. So he knows how to, counteract it. And there's a point in the movie where he actually explains to her that she doesn't understand the recoil. Remember when he smacks it really hard and it kind of shakes in her hand, and
Yeah.
he's like, "See, you don't understand the power of how it works." And so
Yeah.
that's why he was basically playing with her, toying with her.
Yeah.
But he also, at the same time, saw the talent within her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that was probably one of the better forms of, like, a master fighting somebody who's like young and still learning, essentially. And
Hmm.
the fact that what I was expecting was that she was just gonna give up and accept defeat at some point, but she literally never does in
Right.
it, which part of me almost finds that annoying. But then it's also like, no, because even though you think, I basically am getting schooled here, like,
Hmm.
at least she's trying until she can't anymore, which
Yeah.
is also an admirable type of trait. Even if, but it's the fact that he's more of a, he's not trying to actually beat her. He is clearly toying with her with it and testing her. But, she's just so determined to keep it, which is interesting. I kind of thought that at the end she'd want to not fight with the sword, like just in the terms of, because when she was talking with the person who trained her, Jade or whatever, like she was like,
Yeah.
I got better than you with it.
Right.
I went past you myself. But then
Right.
she's got this sword and is kind of relying on the sword for her battles. I kind of thought at the end that she was going to be like, I'm going to be like her, where I'm not
Mhm.
improving and I'm just relying on the sword. I need to improve. I could still improve myself without the sword. Like how
Right.
he's able to battle without this sword and is dominating. I thought that's what it was going to be at the end, but they didn't really hint at anything like that
No,
at the
yeah,
end.
because
But
take her sword away from her, and most of these badasses would have put her down pretty much no problem.
yeah,
The thing with her story is, like I said, it still kind of rotates back around to the love story that intertwined around the sword, and
yeah,
so it shows how she's come full circle. Because originally, her storyline was she was being forced to marry somebody she didn't want to. She was in
mhm,
love with somebody else. So she was using this sword to kind of fight her way out of, and become free and be a nomad across the lands and just bitter, through the whole
mhm,
thing. And I think the ending, her kind of, watching what happened with Chow Yun Fat's character, it kind of brought her full circle, so to speak, and just the realization of you can't always have what you want, you know. I think that's kind of what they were trying to put across. Yeah.
yeah. And I kind of figure it's like this whole cycle of trying to get revenge for people that did all that. It's like, well, all this happened crazy, and look at these legends that are dead now with
Right.
it. It's kind of feeling like
All
that.
the
So I mean,
damage
it does
and-
hit on a lot of
yeah.
notes. But if it were to be that one notch better, I would have liked for her. But when he was still alive, to kind of accept, like, I can't, I don't want to be like the chick that trained me, that is not progressing at all. She's getting worse, if anything. And I am relying on this now. I thought that would have been a cool story, maybe a different type of story for a different movie at some point. But
Well, these days, Rookie, this movie would have been stretched out into 3 different movies.
You're right. That's true.
We'd be having,
And we get the origin of the first time.
right. First
That's
time the sword was forged. and blah,
that's
blah,
actually
blah.
something, like, I don't want to see that. Like, I liked how this one felt like this could have been like the 3rd movie in a series,
Sure.
but there was
Exactly.
you don't see them. But
It's
this,
epic
like, it's
from
almost
beginning to end. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, and it's like it just feels like all these characters know each other, but it's not, and not everybody's going, "Oh yes, you, that of which is my friend that I know," and blah blah. I mean, sometimes there's lines that almost go that way, but it's somebody else that says it that's not them, or who's this new person, whatever, and it's something like that, not people that obviously know each other going, "Hello, my love," that I have known for a long time.
It's just being lost
more natural
translation.
dialogue, which that's good. I like it, and it feels, and like I said in the beginning, when he's like talking about the sword and take it over to the city, like that's it feels like his journey was a cool story. But we don't see it,
right?
So we're just seeing him at his end.
Sure.
And it's like,
no, yeah, it's all. There's a lot of stuff
but in a good way.
There's a lot of stuff that's lost in translation, unfortunately. Like I said before in the beginning, when the movie was originally filmed in, I think it was Cantonese or Mandarin, one of the two, that language and how they speak to each other and the way it comes across will obviously make more sense to people that understand that language. With us watching the dubbed version, you're gonna lose some of the storyline and some of the context of what they're saying in the translation, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that just makes me want to seek out the original version of this in its native language to watch it. And that,
well, you'd have to learn Mandarin and Cantonese to understand it.
Is it not subbed? There's no captions?
Well, you're still going to lose the translation, Rook. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're out. I see what you mean.
Yeah,
even the words that they put, that they put on screen won't accurately.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a little frustrating how that happens, but I guess when when a culture has multiple different types of meanings for a word, I guess I can see how that can get lost.
Straight translation from like Japanese to America, it comes out very weird. You could probably, I don't know if Entertainment Hacker is still in the chat, but he could probably vouch for this. Word for word translations, are very confusing. Even Spanish, Spanish tends to talk backwards a lot. Compared to English, the way they set the words up and how they say their sentences. So it would translate backwards, kind of like Yoda talk, right? And that's just how it works, because if you do a straight translation of another person's language, you're not catching the, just the hints of culture, and how the language has developed over
like if we were to say currently y'all hanging out,
right?
Like, even translating that to somebody 50 years ago in America, they'd be like, y'all hanging out.
Right. They'd be looking at their gut or their pants.
What's hanging out of what?
Right,
like,
right.
What's a y'all?
Exactly.
Yep. So it's a y'all thing.
If you can't, so that sometimes that a great movie to watch, Rookie, another one. Here, put this one on your list. Bill Murray and the very lovely Black Widow. In Lost in Translation. Great flick.
I've heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, good movie.
I think that's somewhere on the bottom of my list. Just kidding.
Oh, well.
Just kidding. No.
It's worth putting on.
No, I got you. That's another one to try out there.
Yeah, Scarlett's really, really, really pretty in that movie. I love her in that one. Scarlett Johansson. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Great.
Hell yeah. She's
very
always
innocent. Good. Very innocent looking. Girl Next Door.
Always good. Yeah, Mega Jetty in the chat here, real quick. What's up, man? Everybody's talking about Drunken Master. What do you think about Drunken Master? Do you recommend that one?
Those are okay. Those are the Jackie Chan films, I believe. Some of his more famous ones. Good stuff. Fun stuff. The production value isn't as well done as the Bruce Lee flicks, I feel, but still worth checking out if you start to get an itch to watch more of this type of stuff.
I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of bad ones, because Jackie Chan, seen him in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
Some
he's
of
in, like,
them are so
70.
cringe.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
how?
He's done
Some
like
of them-
70 movies, and like 10 of them are good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and honestly, the ones that were bad stick more with me because I don't think I've seen half those good ones. So,
right.
Rush Hour, I liked those, but I don't think
Yeah,
those
those
would
are
be
good.
considered on the good category.
Rumble in
They're
the
funny.
Bronx was well done. That was Rumble in the Bronx was like his first big American released movie, even though it was still filmed in Chinese, so it was still dubbed and everything. But
Yeah.
it did get a big release in America.
Okay.
Yeah, so that might be worth checking out. Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx.
I'd start with that, and if you like that, then maybe check out Drunken Master. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see. After I see Enter the Dragon, I might line up a month in this
Yes,
year
this is
where
your priority.
I'll line if I like that one pretty good. I'll try to line up a month within this year that I'll try to watch at least like 6 martial arts movies or something in a month's
Do
time.
it. Do
We
it now.
shall.
You go watch this movie now.
Wrong voice. That is Arnold.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't.
Arnold
do it,
recommends
Bruce
as
Lee.
well, right? No.
Be like
Yes.
water. Be like
Do you
water,
think?
my friend.
Do you think that one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's characters could beat one of Bruce Lee's characters, or is Enter the Dragon character?
Well, the Terminator obviously is hard to beat. When you're a human
I guess a
being.
human one,
Right.
That's the human though.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a no-brainer. But no, like in an actual fight, Bruce Lee.
I guess
would
not in a
ass.
real fight. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess any of the characters that they played.
Yeah, no, Bruce Lee would kick the shit out of Commando. He would kick the shit out of the guy from Total Recall. He'd kick the shit. Yeah, no, Bruce Lee's got him all day, all day. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you just wait. When you see Enter the Dragon, your whole world's gonna change. You're gonna be like, "Holy shit! Holy shit! This was a bad man."
If a film like that old can get me in the holy shit state, that'll be impressive. I'll be very impressed with that.
I don't see how you
shall
couldn't
see.
say that. There's a couple of
We'll see.
scenes in that movie that, even though I've seen it several times, to this day, when I see these couple of certain scenes, I still drop my jaw in awe of just how amazing he really was. What a presence and what a loss. So yeah. Enter the Dragon. Get some, Rookie.
Okay.
All right.
Mega Jetty says, yeah, he's got Rumble in the Bronx. Monkey's here. Says, we all know Rook needs his arm twisted to see a
Yep.
movie.
Twisting it right now. Here, twist
Yep.
it.
Shit.
You watch it now. Watch it.
No.
Yes, son. Watch it.
All right. I'll add to the queue. Shit. Oh, man.
Jeez.
Operation Condor was the sequel to Armor of God, but the original title was Armor of God 2, Operation Condor. When the first film came to the States, it was titled Operation Condor 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, he knows his Jackie Chan flicks.
All right. Well, if I watch one of these, Mega Jetty, I'll see if you want to come on and chat with some of these. I'll tag you on Twitter when I have a list of ones I'll be interested in watching, see which ones you want to pop in on.
Who's the master? Show enough. Who's the master? Show enough.
That does make me think of Kill Bill. I killed your master. Now I'm going to kill you too.
He recommended The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of a funny movie. I wouldn't put that high on your list, but it is fun to watch.
Yeah.
It has Bruce Leroy.
There's other weird foreign ones I've seen, or they're American ones, but you know what I mean? Like the American foreign ones, like the like Shaolin Soccer is kind of like it's weird. They're weird.
Yeah.
But they're okay, but they're not. They're like okay, but they're not. Like part of me is like, yeah, but the other part of me is like, I don't want to watch this.
No. I could appreciate those movies because I feel like Cobra Kai might have borrowed a little bit from movies like that to kind of help their series.
Possibly.
Yeah. But have you been watching Cobra Kai?
I'm on a couple episodes in season 2.
Okay.
I'm not a great binger because when I first got Netflix, believe it or not, I actually watched a lot of stuff, you guys. That was probably where I watched the bulk of movies that I know today, when I first got Netflix. And after that, I was in this kind of void. This is when Netflix didn't have everything on their stuff. I was just kind of like, I don't know what to watch. And so ever since then, I kind of slowly watch TV shows and stuff. I don't really binge them. I try to I separate them out a bit. So I'm still on early season 2 right now. But hearing everybody talk about season 4 makes me want to sit down and watch this. But the thing is, I got things I got to do, and if I start watching Cobra Kai, I'm gonna want to binge it, and I gotta make sure I got time.
Did you watch the first 3 Karate Kid movies yet?
Yes. Last
Okay.
year, it's probably 2 years. It's probably 2 years ago now. I did my first viewing of those on here and talked with like Midnight's Edge and a couple other people watching those with me, Teresa Martin and stuff. And yeah, those were probably my favorite of the movies that I've seen for the first time in the last couple of years.
Oh,
I even like as a trilogy. That's one of my favorite trilogies, probably. Just right now, as I'm thinking right now, because even the third one, it's a little more silly, but I love Terry Silver and how like evil villain he is, like twirly mustache. Yeah, we're gonna have this evil plan and get revenge on this stupid kid. And Miyagi, it's just like. Come on.
That was pretty good, actually.
It's just funny, and then and the kid gets the fact that
part 3. I didn't think it was as bad as everybody else did back then.
I'd want to hear their criticisms because I feel like a lot of people just say something's bad and just have no idea why, and it's like, well, why do you think it was bad?
They weren't holding as much nostalgia as they were going on with the sequels, but
that was fine. I was glad it's not always flipping
like
on
a Karate Kid. Yeah.
I like that it wasn't hanging on to a whole bunch of things. It was going forward with stuff. So
now, Random Brad actually just made a great recommendation for you. Kung Fu Hustle is actually kind of a comedy slash.
FANZCENE recommended that, and I have that on DVD, so I will be watching it at some point.
Yeah, that I could see you enjoying that movie. Yeah. It's a little cheesy, but it's fun. It's a fun watch. I saw that in the theater too, actually.
No, that was a high recommendation from FANZCENE. So
I wouldn't put it high on my recommendations as far as martial arts.
Well, I think he put it high as to what he thinks I would like.
Yes, I will agree with him on that. But I still feel Enter the Dragon is your christening to the genre. You have to watch Enter the Dragon, and then you can watch any other martial arts movie after that.
January 30th, I will watch Enter the Dragon.
All right.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Well, maybe bring me back for that one.
Okay.
Because I know my Bruce Lee lore. I'm quite diverse. If you couldn't tell yet.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. You know Bruce Lee? You know him? Okay.
No,
you know of him. You know a lot about him. You know.
I was actually trained by a descendant of his. If you want to get technical, but that's a whole other stream, buddy.
Jolly's a ninja. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, not quite. But, a personal friend of his from his college days actually lived in my neighborhood where I was going to high school, and I'd go over to his house and train. And he had a cool little setup at his house with punching bags and different bags and stuff to kick and wood dowel dummy. And so I did get to spend a few years with somebody who trained with Bruce Lee. His name was Billy Corbett. He actually held the record for breaking river rocks for years. I was on TV once with him. Actually, we show called Evening Magazine. It was a local news type show, and we were on there because we were doing a charity for a girl in town that had cancer, and so he went in to break the river rock record. He was like a dump truck got pulled up with a bunch of river rocks and dropped on us, and I sat there with him all day passing river rocks to him as he busted them open with his hand one by one. Yeah, it was crazy. He did thousands of them. I can't even remember how many it was. It was a lot. It was a lot.
That's crazy.
It was a lot of fun, though. It was my first claim to fame, so to speak. I am still trying to find that clip of that show. I hope I could find it someday. Possibly going back up to Seattle and because I believe the evening magazine show is still around. But here,
Maybe.
I was kind of distracting you here for a minute to dig this out, but prove that I ain't bullshitting you. Because a lot of people would be like, yeah, bullshit, Snowdub.
You think you tough shit, huh?
Got to back it up when you start making claims like that.
Yeah.
So this was my sensei. His name was Billy Corbett. This is him here. He was at a competition in Los Angeles when this picture was taken. This was in I want to say San Francisco. I'll read it here in a minute, but this was one of his competitions he was in, and very well known for having hands of steel, as they like to say. He was he could break just about anything with them hands. They were like metal gloves with skin on them. But that's him. His name was Billy Corbett. And here, I'll read this part to you. That was on 12/20/1970. So he was already friends with Bruce at that point. And how they met was Billy was Golden Gloves champion for boxing. And they met. Okay, hang on. So the world record for brick breaking, he smashed 2,055 bricks during a marathon session. Yep. For the Northwest Kidney Center in this picture. To be forcibly halted. He forcibly halted from breaking more bricks when it appeared his hand was broken. After examination, it found that his hand was not broken, just severely bruised.
Ouch.
Yeah, his efforts got $278 in 1970 for that one. But this was the picture that was taken from that certain event. But yeah, they met in Seattle when Bruce was going to the University of Washington. Billy met up with them, and they kind of exchanged info. Like Billy's like, "Hey man, I'll teach you some boxing and stuff, and if you teach me some of that cool kung fu that you know there." And that was back in the late 60s, I believe. So at this point, he was already quite the martial artist. He had already had a few years training with Bruce Lee. Wow. And then, of course, when I met him, he was quite the old man at that point. He was already in his 70s, I believe. So he wasn't able to really show me kicks as well, but he had a couple other students that he had been training that helped me learn certain kicks and stuff. But he could still show me a lot of cool hand-to-hand stuff. And I just am thankful every day that I had the opportunity to train with somebody who was literally a good friend of Bruce Lee's. So I can honestly say, when people ask me, I am a descendant of Bruce Lee. So, and his training. There you go.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Damn, man, you gotta show like a 2-second ninja move, like a YouTube short or something.
Yeah, I actually, you seen the nunchuck one, haven't you?
I did nunchuck. I don't remember if you did a nunchuck one or if I saw it.
Yeah, I've posted on Twitter a couple times.
On Twitter.
Yeah, I'm quite the badass with nunchucks, Rookie. You haven't seen that? I bet you half the people in the chat have seen that.
I'm ringing a bell right now. Nunchuck.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, just go to Google, or not Google. Go to the Twitter search, right? And type in Snowdub #Chuckoff, CHUCKOFF #Chuckoff, and it should pop right up. I could probably find it too if you want.
So Snowdub and then #Checkoff.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here we go. Did you find it? I got it.
No, okay, cool. That'll probably work.
Hang on.
See, or if you send me it on Twitter, then I can share it.
Okay, let me do that.
That works.
I'll share it to you real quick here.
Okay, you gotta see some Snowdub nunchucking. Have you seen Shadiversity's videos on nunchucks?
I'm not sure. Okay, it's in your DMs.
Okay, checking those. I might have seen a glimpse of this, but yeah, I didn't know Must have been one of those days I was browsing and didn't actually know that was you.
I
It's like-
uploaded it a couple of years ago when the last Rambo movie came out. I remember I was all pumped up, and so I went out in the garage messing around
Yeah.
and recorded it.
It's going to be like one of those old YouTube videos with the guys that don't. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's see some snow dub chucking.
Now you can hear that they're actually wood.
Oh, yeah, so some hard hitting heavy ones. Woo.
I'm pretty good with 2, but I'm an absolute assassin with 1.
Damn.
I go down to 1 range.
Yeah, all right, I'll do 1. Yeah. Oh, shit. Woof. Do they have a call for that little twirly move down the
That's
down the front?
the
that one?
Michelangelo pizza spin. I don't know, man. It's all just.
I didn't know if like half of these have like names for the specific
No.
move sets or something.
No,
Oof, that's a cool one.
not necessarily.
Oh shit!
There's certain attacks.
Get hit the camera.
There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, there's
Damn.
certain attacks and stuff, but it's not really labeled. It's just when you are trained with nunchucks, you just learn your basic maneuvers at first, but there's really no names for them. I guess the main thing I learned was one of the first things I learned was what they call the figure 8 or the infinity sign. You basically swing the nunchucks in kind of an 8 pattern. And that helps you kind of get the flow of them and stuff. And many a cracked elbows and pops to the noggin with them things over the years, buddy. It's lucky I've never gone to the hospital.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were nunchucks invented for combat, or are they invented for movies? Because I feel like it's a very showboaty one. I don't know how useful that would have been in history as like a weapon.
We don't know for sure. The original, what they think they originally came from was farmer tools back in the day when the farmers were not allowed to have weapons to fight back against the Chinese government.
That sounds accurate.
They invented, 2 sticks attached to a chain.
Because I recommend you check out Shadiversity's videos on nunchucks. Now, he does make fun of them a lot for usefulness as a weapon compared to other weapons, but he gives a good history on them too. But then he does end up kind of trashing on them a bit, but they look cool.
I'll tell you what, as somebody who's trained with them for 30 plus years, I can tell you I'm not too scared of anybody with anything in their hands except maybe a gun. Because I've learned that that weapon so well that whatever you come at me with, I have a counter for it with the nunchucks. So that's why Bruce Lee loved them. Because they were so flexible in the way in his movements and how he was able to use them.
Right, but it's like I guess like in different scenarios, like if you were to try to hit somebody, like in some way, like try to hit their head, for example, with the nunchuck compared to like with a stick or something like a blunt baseball bat or the same size of stuff of a nunchuck, stick might have more force to it compared to a nunchuck because the momentum is. I don't know. There's something different with how that works.
That's actually not the. That's actually not the way that you're taught to attack with nunchucks. That alone proves to me whoever is talking about this.
Well, that's not what he says in the video.
Okay. Well, but no. Remember that pattern of movement with the nunchuck is for defense. You're blocking stuff, usually projectiles being thrown at you. That's why you want to build up the speed. If somebody throws a baseball at you and you're doing a figure 8 so fast, that baseball is going to smack out of the way and not hit you. Now, the thing with nunchucks is I'd say maybe replay the video because right there at the very end, I do show you the proper attack with the nunchucks. And it's actually a snap motion where I hold both sticks in my hand and I actually release one stick and kind of shoot it out towards you in a poking motion. It's like a poking motion. So the end of the stick will actually hit you like in the face at like a straight jab, if that makes sense. So it's the actual proper way to attack somebody with nunchucks is way different than people actually think it is.
Okay, but I recommend if you're curious about seeing what somebody says about them to look into it because he does talk about history of weapons for the most part. and he was really looking into nunchucks, especially the way I think he was more responding to the way that other YouTubers that talk about nunchucks talk about how they're used and how useful they are. Like I think the reason why he made his video is because they were very amping up that like nunchucks are like one of the best weapons or something,
Not
and it's
necessarily.
just like
It's
like
all in the
if
hands of the users.
it seems like it's one of the only weapons that you have the potential to injure yourself very easily with
if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
and then it's like just I like some of the things that he showed about it, but if there's counters to what he says, then like I'd like to see people put that into example
I'd have to
too,
watch
because
this
those
video. I'm
those
curious now.
there's a lot of people that you can read the comments too, because there's
Right.
lots of different people and there's responses to it. So there's a couple of videos he does talking about nunchucks with those, but
Well, you'll see.
he's not coming to it as an expert of nunchucks, but he does learn a lot of the stuff, and he studies history and the uses that they had with some of these things, and he does
Sure.
try to learn a lot about these weapons. So he's one of the most recommended guys, and he will admit to mistakes that he does if he
Sure.
makes any in future videos and
Right.
stuff. So
Well, yeah, especially when you're talking to somebody who's trained in that weapon, it's going to be a whole different, conversation. But once you watch Enter the Dragon, you'll have a little bit more knowledge of the weapon because Bruce Lee made that weapon famous.
yeah,
That weapon wasn't really well known or established in the martial arts community until Bruce Lee took it upon him to make it his own and kind of make it his style. And he progressed that weapon and made it better, made it more fluent, made it easier to understand. And he really took it to heart. And so if you're training in Jeet Kune Do and his style, you totally understand why he chose that weapon over all the other ones to fight with. It was his go-to. It was his go-to weapon.
Okay. I mean, that seems like a scenario where it's like the person is skilled in various ways that whatever he put in his hand, he can make deadly too.
Right.
Like,
right.
Give him a pencil and you have swords.
Sure.
Pencil guy might win.
Well, like my second choice, if I didn't have the nunchucks, my second choice would probably be a bow staff. Like, and I hate to go through the Ninja Turtle retrospective here, but
that's
if I wasn't Michelangelo,
familiar for people.
If I wasn't Michelangelo, I'd be Donatello because I like the bow staff. I like how to use it. You get more distance with it. You can keep people further away. If you're training a bow staff, you can be quite deadly with it. And it's really great for keeping distance, keeping other projectiles and weapons away from you. But it does have its flaws, just like anything else. So
yeah, I can see, I can definitely see some of these like nunchucks being used to deflect projectiles. That could be useful. I don't know if he mentions projectiles being thrown. I don't remember if he does. He might have, but
well, just imagine a wood stick flying around at 100 and something miles an hour.
Yeah,
and a circular or figure eight pattern, and try sticking your hand in there.
I guess I'd be trying to imagine the scenario where that you'd
throw
be
a
able
punch into that. Throw a punch into that. See what happens.
Right.
Your hand's gonna get broken and it's gonna get knocked out of the way.
Yeah, I guess
you're
I'd
not
like
gonna
to
make an impact.
I guess what I'd like to see, just in general, like we're on topic of nunchucks, but in general, I'd like to see some type of show that dedicates to like portraying weapons and how they could have been used or something in like different formats. So like if you had a nunchuck master versus a swords master or something, like a baseball bat versus a club or like a mace or something, like
well, see, that's
something like that.
That's what made the Ninja Turtles very popular and a lot of fun. Was the fact that each turtle had their favorite weapon, and that when they go watch the original Ninja Turtles movie.
I've seen the Ninja Turtles movies.
Okay, so if you remember the little fighting sequence they did out in the yard in front of the farm.
Yeah.
Okay, and remember how they were all kind of just using their weapons because they knew how to use their weapons, but they were all equally trained, so nobody really won. The one guy was using the staff, one guy was using the sais, one guy was using the sword.
Right.
And so as they were going through the progression of just training, you could tell that everybody knew their weapons well enough to combat the other guy that knew his weapon well enough. And so that's why whether you're a master in the nunchuck or you're a master in the staff, or maybe you're a master in multiple weapons, I think Steven Seagal was a master with the sticks, the Aikido sticks. Basically, just two
Is that just like
wooden
the two
dolls.
blunt, like the
Yeah,
two short, like
right.
half the size of a normal sword or
Mhm.
baseball bat or something that are
Exactly.
pretty
And
good? Yeah,
that's basically nunchucks separated. So I
right.
mean,
Remove the chain and there you go.
right,
Yeah.
right. So it's really just in the hands of the master and how they use it. Yep. And if their skills are more polished and better than the guy they're fighting.
Pretty much. I guess that's why that might have been like what Shad's point was that like if you're a farmer and you're trying to fight somebody, I think he was saying you might be better off with a regular stick than with a nunchuck. But if the opponent is throwing things at you constantly, maybe that's where the effectiveness of a nunchuck could come in to deflect blows, or like you said, to intimidate the other people. Maybe they're like, I don't want to go near you, fuck that.
Right.
Like
right.
even if potentially that what the enemy has is weapons that could easily overdo it, they're like, I don't know that weapon, I'm just gonna go away from
that was what the nunchuck was,
been.
and that's what the nunchucks were originally invented for, was to
Right.
create a defensive barrier around yourself.
Okay, that's a good type of purpose then for it, because I guess other people have tried to put it in like concealing scenarios, or like assassinate, like he did this kind of like with the Assassin's Blade 2 as well, like the Assassin's Creed blade, and how that's a horrible like mechanism compared to like just holding a dagger. Like with the dagger, you can hold it, you can conceal very well, and this is like you have to specifically and spring and all these things. It's like it's so crazy to have, and it's a gauntlet that's very easy to find. Like it's where a dagger you can hide other places. So that's the kind of things he tries to break down, as stuff like that. And so I'd be curious if he does any other nunchuck videos in the future, because he does get new content from people that comment to him and do stuff, and he's able to respond to some of those. And and like I said, he can admit, okay, well, I you got me there, and I could say that or something, clarify.
I'll send me the link to his video. I want to watch this nunchuck one you're talking about.
I'll see if I can pull that up here, and we'll be closing out in a minute because we've just gone into weapons talk. I do like talking weapons here and there. I'm trying to learn more about some different things.
Well, we started getting
busy.
Into actual martial arts, and you're getting into something I've been doing for 30 plus years. So it's easy for me to ease into kung fu talk.
I gotcha. See, the first thing I come up with is Shadiversity nunchucks, and then Shadiversity Star Wars and stick and other things that he talks about. But nunchucks comes up first.
Yeah, send me that link. I'll check it out, and I'll give him a comment in the comment section if I feel like he's incorrect on anything.
Yep, and he does, like I said, he does a few videos that talk about the nunchucks, though, then some that respond to points in his other videos too. So
right,
first one he says
I'm
are
one of those
nunchucks.
Guys that's like, if you don't practice the art, you don't do it, you're not hands-on, then I can only accept so much of what you're telling me about the weapon at hand, because you're only doing a retrospective review of it, where you're reading about it, watching video about it, taking in images of it, but you're not hands-on using the weapon and learning how it's used. You know what I mean?
He does demonstrate what he knows with it, but he says he's not a 30-year
he's not trained.
He's not a 30-year dedicated expert to it either.
He's not trained. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one video should lead you to the rest of the ones you can find easily as well on there. So
I'll tell you now, Rookie, I'm still no nunchuck master, and I may never be, because I never went into like competition and stuff like that. But I could tell you that it's years of practice to get that kind of skill level that I showed you in that video. That's something you're not going to pick that up overnight.
Of course,
you ain't going to pick that up in a year. That's
a lot of discipline to get that level.
Yes, a lot of chin and elbow music.
I feel like that is. I feel like that kind of is said for most weapons, I suppose, to be utilized to their full extent. Like even a sword. Like I assume there's, you can know how to fence or something, but there's like other uses to a sword that you can be skilled, sure, but like how skilled? If somebody attacks you with the different weapons, how can you counter with your sword as well? That's interesting. I like that kind of thought. I wish that there was more movies that would take that into consideration for the fights that they do sometimes.
Good movies out there that show weapons fighting. So like I said, if you really get into the martial arts flicks and you want to discover more stuff that shows you more things, me and a lot of others that enjoy those movies can give you some great recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds very good.
And hail Fandom Collective. Thanks for having old Jolly the Puppet on and Snow Dub. And well, you know me. You know where my channel's at, so I ain't got to plug shit. You
Snowdub's
guys.
here. Yeah, most everybody here is the Cotton Connection crew tonight, which is awesome. And Brad's here. Yeah, watch Enter the Dragon again. Yes. He wants that to be a fact. Well, before this month is over, it shall be watched. That is a fact.
Hail
What's
Keely
going on?
Lots
of stuff. Lots of stuff, Keely. Lots of talking about the different movies, and Crashing Tiger was talked about for a while, but we got into other stuff as well with this.
We started talking nunchucks.
Nunchucks, bruh. And that's the thing too. Like nunchucks, if I were like seeing you do that stuff, it's like, I mean, if I didn't have a weapon and I was gonna fight you and you whip those out, I'd be like, no.
I've intimidated a few people throughout the years.
Like,
oh
yeah, I don't want to. If I had if I had any type of like a baseball bat, I'd feel a little bit better. But then again, I'd be like, well, he's quicker than me, so that could fuck me up. Like if I could get a good charge in, maybe. But if he also knows how to fight and I don't, I'm fucked there. But if we were on equal, I don't know. That'd be a little different. I don't know. And then it's like, okay, if I had a sword, would that be the difference maker? I don't know. I think it's a
Depends on how skilled you are with a sword.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
Depends on how skilled you are with a sword.
I feel like if you're able to somehow just get it into that middle part of the chain and the nunchucks going around, I don't know how quick reactions can be.
Think of this. You miss me once with that sword, I'm probably going to be able to tag you 4 or 5 times after that miss.
I suppose it depends on how effective the blows are that are landed. I suppose because if it's like, you know, if it's like I get you and then I miss and then you get me a few times. You know, how long before I can do a cut? You know, get you with the sword.
No, rookie. There's a reason why nunchucks are illegal in a lot of states. They are considered a deadly weapon, especially if you know how to use them. A blunt force shot to the face with a pair of nunchucks with a skilled person, I could kill you. I could literally kill you. Like the force of that wood impacting your face would crack bone. It's not.
I can see that. I can see that.
It's not just a knot on your head.
Right.
If you got a real thick skull, maybe you might get away with a knot. But chances are, if I'm coming at you full force, something's gonna break. Something's gonna break. And even if you try to block it with your arm, I'm gonna break your arm. You know, so your arm's gonna snap the first time that you try to block my nunchucks. If you try kicking at it, it's gonna break a toe or part of your ankle or something.
Yeah,
but that's how fast the wood is spinning, and the just the force blunt trauma of how fast it's going around. If that makes sense. So imagine somebody coming at me with a sword, and I'm already doing the 8, that figure 8 pattern that you saw me doing. That sword's going to deflect to the side immediately, and then you're already off balance with the sword at that point, and I'm coming around for another whip of those nunchucks. So it's like I said, it's all in the skill of the person with the weapon that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And nunchucks are deadly. They're very deadly. There's a reason why you can put it up there with sais and swords and bow staffs, and they're all considered deadly weapons, especially in the trained hands of.
I wonder what's considered not a deadly weapon.
I'm
thinking about it. I'm like, there's a lot of weapons you could use that's deadly, essentially.
Well, like sword fighters, when they first learn to fight, they usually have wooden swords that they buy. Wooden dowel. They call them. There's a certain name for them. I can't remember. They're basically wooden swords, and that's like what samurais would train with at first. Yeah. And you could still really hurt somebody with your wooden sword, obviously. But you wouldn't die from it, I
mean, assume if they a full stab motion to the throat. I mean, I imagine
maybe
potentially
they're blunted off. They're not sharp at all, really. I mean, they're in the shape of a sword, but they're.
If the force to the throat is enough, I mean, I don't know.
You could do it, but if you're just training and stuff, it would be very nominal. Like I had a buddy who had a pair, and we used to go out and just hack the hell out of each other. And
Yeah.
I can remember getting my hand smacked a few times where it was extremely painful.
Or like, I don't know how thick a sword is, or like a wooden sword is. I don't know how thick that would be. Like if you were to, hit somebody really hard on the head, if that would be enough with those.
You'd probably break the sword, depending on how well it was made and stuff.
I assume with the wooden swords, they're pretty much made to be, beaten up, but not not with huge force, more for clashing, I assume.
You'd probably knock them out, definitely. It'd be same as like a, kind of a skinny baseball bat, that kind of impact. But same with a baseball bat, man. You hit somebody hard enough with a baseball bat, you can kill them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to think of the non-lethal weapons. What would that be? Like
a Nerf gun.
A real weapon, like I assume, like bronze knuckles.
No, you can kill somebody with that too.
So somebody's fist can be a deadly weapon, right? Is that
well? Actually, if you're, in certain martial arts, I don't know if they do it as much now, but back in the day, if you were like a black belt or above in certain martial arts, a lot of people would have to register their hands as deadly weapons. It's not a joke. It actually used to happen back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, martial artists would register their hands because what it would do is it would give them the right where if somebody attacked them and they killed them with their bare hands, it would get them off as far as, like self-defense and stuff like that. Be like, oh my God, you killed that guy when he came after you. You could have just subdued him, and you'd be like, well, my hands are registered deadly weapons. So
right, it's hard to control these puppies. They have a mind of their own. They're dangerous.
Yeah, it's the same aspect of having a gun. Like you shoot a gun, you're not necessarily trying to kill them. You're just trying to stop them. But since it's deadly force, it's a registered deadly weapon. It's so control. Same thing with your hands. If you learn martial arts so well that you could kill somebody and not really mean to, but you're just defending yourself. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I like that. I want to. Have they done that in a movie? Like in one of these movies, like somebody's walking around. I could see that in like a Western style Asian one that's like he just walks in, he's got no weapon, but he's got his hands in his pockets or something, and it's like oh, you got no weapon, fool, and whatever. It's like, yeah, sure. They start attacking him and just he's dead.
I'm pretty sure Steven Seagal's tried to register his hands at this point. Yeah.
Oh, do you ever who do you think today, if they're still alive today, like would be able to do that? Do you think, in terms of actors, I suppose, if you know?
Oh well, actors. I mean, we still got a couple legends out there like Chuck Norris and Jet Li and Jackie Chan. And
was Chuck Norris ever actually skilled in like fighting, or was he just in fighting stuff where he's portrayed as somebody?
No, he's a karate champion before he was ever an actor.
Okay, I've never heard that about him. Everybody just says all I know is memes of him being better than everybody. That's all I know is everybody just goes, Chuck Norris is just the best, and it's like
I need you are so all right. Bruce Lee wanted to make this movie called Return of the Dragon. I believe it was his third movie. It was still a Hong Kong production, but it was going to be filmed in Italy. Okay. It was filmed in Rome. He wanted to bring in an ultimate badass for the end guy. He wanted somebody bigger than him, stronger than him. He decided that maybe I'll bring in somebody American. So he went into a karate competition display thing, whatever. The national champion just happened to be there. And the guy's name at the time was Chuck Norris. He was the karate champion, I believe, 1972, 71, somewhere in there. You can look it up. And he had never acted in his life, not a day in his life. Bruce Lee liked his style, liked his look, said, I'm going to put you in a movie. Flew him out to Italy. Yep. And he has very few speaking lines in the movie. He's basically portrayed as the ultimate badass. The bad henchman calls in last minute because he's ran out of ideas to beat Bruce Lee, type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's how Chuck gets introduced as the ultimate badass in that movie. He ends up being the last guy that he fights. They have this awesome fighting scene where they actually hit each other because it's a full-on spar match of two martial artists going at it. They filmed it in the Colosseum of Rome.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I said, once you watch Enter the Dragon, you need to go back and watch Return of the Dragon.
I kind of want to watch might watch these sooner than January
at
30th.
least,
Man. I
if
kind
you
of want
want
to see that. I didn't know that about Chuck Norris. That's interesting. I always thought he was just a meme person, essentially, just the meme guy that is just always. That's all
whoever's
anybody,
left in the
nobody
chat
ever
right
talks
now
about him
is-
actually being good at karate. Nobody ever actually talks about that.
Random Brad's probably over there just banging his head against the wall because
What the fuck, Rookie?
hearing this stuff right now.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, Rookie?
Like,
Sorry, Brad.
really?
Sorry. No, I blame it on people
Goddamn millennials.
I blame it on people that talk about Chuck Norris that don't ever mention that type of thing. With it, you know, nobody ever
The
talks. He
history
was a
that man
karate
has.
master, not just.
Yes.
They just go, he's just better than everybody. I'm like, well, that like, I don't. That's just he's in movies and he could be
Yeah, well,
playing the
yeah.
character who's good. Steven Seagal thinks he's better than everybody. That doesn't mean anything.
That
to
whole
me.
thing's
Like,
just a meme gone wild.
you know.
I've always, it's funny, you know, you've heard it obviously a million times where they've said, people are, everybody's, Chuck Norris is the only guy that's not scared of anything or whatever.
Yeah. Like,
And
Chuck-
I've always,
like, you know, water wants to be around me. I don't go swimming. You know, I don't walk over bridges. They allow, you know, I allow them to walk to be under me or something, like stuff like that. That's all I hear.
well, my controversial opinion has always been, Chuck Norris is scared of something, and his name is Bruce Lee. So every time Chuck Norris goes to bed, he checks under checks under the covers or under the bed for Bruce Lee, or checks the closet for Bruce Lee. Because if you go back and watch Return of the Dragon, you watch Chuck Norris get his ass handed to him by Mr. Bruce Lee, and it, like I said, it's one of the most realistic fight scenes ever put on film because they are hitting each other. You see the ripples in the flesh as from the impact of the fist. So check it out, Ricky.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
Kind of making me want to watch this now, you fool.
Return of the Dragon.
I actually check this out
Do 'em
tomorrow
back to
before I
back.
go to work.
Yeah.
I might check these out. Some kind of, I'm wanting to
Do a-
see that. Especially the
double
fight
feature.
scene. Fight scene sounds really good. I'd like to see a good fight scene like that. So
Most realistic
All
fight
right.
scene ever put on film, in my opinion. And a lot
I
of
mean, that
people would
should be its selling point nowadays. Holy shit, that
a
sounds
lot of
great.
people would agree with me on that. Yeah.
All right, I might be watching that sooner than I think.
But we have gone way too long, Ricky. I gotta go get something to eat. And get to
I
bed.
got you. Same here. Thank you, Snowdub, for hanging out, talking Crouching Tiger and martial arts films and weapons and stuff. This is fun. I didn't even think we were going to talk about this other stuff, but I'm glad because this is fun. You know, it's like I have interest in a lot of things, but I don't always dive deep into some of this stuff. I kind of jack of traits look into things here and there and don't like go super deep. So I only see a few surface things, and you know, so that's kind of why I like having people that have watched things or experienced a lot of stuff. So it's like, you know, when I'm getting into it, I can get blanks filled with all this, and the fact that you have your own story to it as well. So it's not the same, but what I'm hearing from you is different than I'll hear from somebody else that has gone through these things as well. So this is interesting. I'm glad you showed me that you showed me that nunchuck video.
Yeah.
I really was like, I don't know if you could do nunchucks, man. I can almost see it. And now you did. I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't bullshitting.
Right.
I also recommend if you want to talk movies, two other guys that are really well cultured in a lot of different films that I've noticed is Culture Casino and Tom from Midnight's Edge. So if you can get one of those two guys,
Tom has kind of been with me on a lot of these for my journey. He was with me for the Karate Kid journey. So I think the Alien ones he popped in on for a few of those. He's been the Rambo ones. He's with me for those. Yeah, he's been pretty much tag along for most of those ones. I'd say. Yeah, Culture. I'll see Culture wants to come by.
Bring me back for Enter the Dragon. I'll definitely like to chew that one over with you.
Okay, pretty much. I'll put you down anytime I look over some martial arts ones. I'll at least toss you a link or something, or let you know when I plan on doing it, so you can
martial arts and horror,
buddy.
These. Martial arts and horror. Yeah.
Martial arts and horror. I got you. All right. Well, with that, thank you everybody as well for hanging out tonight. The Cotton Connection crew, for the most part, all dropping by, and Angus, of course, buddy over here. He's like, wood face. Now I'm up.
Oh, jeez.
And wood in the face. That's for sure.
That's great.
I didn't even see it like that. That was good.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Tommy. Everybody, Sherry, Wookie, Mega Jetty, Nico or Nika. Or
Nico Glock, yeah.
One, Hacker, you stopped by for a bit. Glad for that. And yeah, I'll be doing. So I was gonna watch Hacksaw Ridge next. I still want to see that, but man, I kind of in that mood. You tempted me, Snow. I want to kind of want to check out the dragons, little dragon movies.
Yes, sir. Enter the Dragon and Return of the Dragon. Also, it was another, they had another name for it too. God, I can't think of it. The Way of the Dragon, maybe it was the original title for or Return of the Dragon. But Return of the Dragon was filmed before Enter the Dragon. So
okay.
Enter the Dragon has a higher production as far as money put into it, so it's a better made film. But Return of the Dragon is excellent to watch, especially for that last fight scene between him and Chuck Norris. So check them out.
Hell yeah, I shall. Last words from Random Brad are that FANZCENE and Tom are training Runner in the fine art of great movies. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, Runner. Yeah.
They do the Wednesday night physical media show, and trying to get him. They're trying to get him trained up on this stuff as well. He's surprisingly, I'm above him in this category.
Wow.
Of not knowing movies. I'm above him in that. We've got to get that rookie, Cooper rookie, up to snuff now. Okay.
Nice.
Got to, but I'll be making my strides too. Maybe one of these days, even when I watch, it's funny, if I watch 50 movies, I'll still be behind. I'll still be very behind. But
you'll catch up eventually.
But I'm only, I'm turning 28 this year, so
right, you got time.
I'm still a youngster in this area.
Exactly.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you, Snowdub, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the